Deep within the history of the sportswear giant Adidas lies a sinister past that has been shrouded in controversy. A past that involves the company's founding by two brothers who were members of the Nazi Party. Adidas, with a net worth of almost $29 billion today, was founded in 1949 by Adolf "Adi" Dassler, who was a member of the Nazi Party, and his brother, Rudolf Dassler. The brothers had previously owned a shoe company together in Herzogenaurach. They quickly gained a reputation for creating high-quality footwear, and their business was growing. The brothers' involvement in the Nazi Party during World War II has been a topic of controversy and speculation for many years. While some argue that their involvement was purely opportunistic and business-oriented, others point to evidence that suggests a more active participation in the Nazi regime. Some sources say that when World War II broke out, the Dassler brothers' true colors were revealed. Adolf joined the Nazi Party, and Rudolf became a member of the SS. They saw an opportunity to profit from the war and began designing shoes for the German army. The brothers developed a new type of shoe with spikes on the bottom that gave soldiers better traction in the mud and snow. They secured a contract with the army to produce thousands of pairs, and their business thrived. But their success came at a high cost. The Dassler brothers were fully committed to the Nazi cause and used their business to support the party. They hired forced laborers, including Jews and prisoners of war, to work in their factory, exploiting them for profit. They also donated money to the SS and other Nazi organizations. Their involvement with the Nazi regime didn't end there. The Dassler brothers designed shoes for Hitler Youth and even for the 1936 Berlin Olympics, which was a propaganda tool for the Nazi regime. After the war ended, the Dassler brothers were questioned about their involvement with the Nazi Party. Rudolf was arrested and accused of war crimes, but he was later released due to lack of evidence. Adolf, on the other hand, was banned from any involvement in the company and died in poverty. The legacy of the Dassler brothers and Adidas is a dark one. They used their skills and resources to aid a regime that committed heinous atrocities and promoted hate and discrimination. Despite the company's attempts to distance itself from the actions of its founders, its troubling past continues to haunt it in the present day. One of the company's controversies involved its alleged use of sweatshops and exploitation of workers in countries such as Indonesia, Vietnam, and China. The sportswear giant has come under fire for employing workers in the garment and textile manufacturing industry who were allegedly subjected to long hours, low wages, and poor working conditions, which are hallmarks of sweatshop labor. In 2014, for example, about 30,000 workers from Jiangxi and Guangdong joined a protest movement against unfair pay and benefits. According to Clean Clothes Campaign, which is a global network dedicated to improving working conditions and empowering workers in the global garment and sportswear industries, Indonesia is a major manufacturing hub for Adidas, where a significant proportion of their sportswear products are produced. The garment sector in Indonesia employs primarily women, accounting for around 80% of the workforce. Despite the long working hours and difficult working conditions, some workers in the sector receive only €86 or $92 per month, which is far below the legal minimum wage, which was €253, $270 at the time in 2018. This has led to protests about the exploitation of workers in the industry and the need for companies like Adidas to ensure fair wages and better working conditions for their workers in Indonesia. Racism is an issue that continues to plague society, and Adidas found itself in hot water in 2012 when it released a controversial sneaker called the JS Roundhouse Mids. The shoe's design featured a shackle-like element that was deemed by many as insensitive and reminiscent of slavery. The backlash was swift and widespread. with critics accusing the sportswear giant of perpetuating negative racial stereotypes. Reverend Jesse Jackson was one of the prominent critics of Adidas, and he expressed his strong disapproval of the company's practices. In a statement, he said, "The attempt to commercialize and make popular more than 200 years of human degradation, where blacks were considered 3/5 human by our Constitution, is offensive, appalling, and insensitive. Removing the chains from our ankles and placing them on our shoes is no progress. These slave shoes are odious, and we as a people should be called to resent and resist them." The incident sparked a larger conversation about the need for greater cultural sensitivity and awareness in the fashion industry. In response, Adidas withdrew the shoe from production and issued an apology, acknowledging the hurt and offense caused by the design. The design of the JS Roundhouse Mid is nothing more than the designer Jeremy Scott's outrageous and unique take on fashion and has nothing to do with slavery. The statement continued, "We apologize if people are offended by the design, and we are withdrawing our plans to make them available in the marketplace." But this was not the last faulty fashion move from Adidas. In 2018, Adidas was revving up for the highly anticipated Soccer World Cup in Russia, and it seemed the company was taking a nostalgic approach. The Baltic News Network reported that Adidas had launched soccer jerseys featuring the retro acronym of Soviet Union, USSR. To add to the mix, the Moscow Times revealed that there was a whole range of USSR-branded apparel available. The move sparked much discussion and debate about the appropriateness of using such a controversial symbol, especially given the Soviet Union's history of human rights violations and repression. There were also concerns raised by multiple individuals questioning whether Adidas would consider releasing kits featuring Nazi symbols. As expected, when the scandal broke, Adidas had already begun removing the controversial products from their online store. Animal rights are a growing concern for many consumers, and Adidas has faced criticism for its use of animal products in its shoes. The sportswear giant has been accused of using kangaroo leather, which is obtained through the killing of kangaroos, as well as other animal products like fur and exotic skins. One specific protest related to animal cruelty in Adidas occurred in 2018, when animal rights activists staged a demonstration outside Adidas' flagship store in London. The protesters were calling on the company to stop using kangaroo leather in its products, which they argued was obtained through the killing of kangaroos. The demonstration was organized by animal rights group PETA, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, and featured activists holding signs with slogans like, "Adidas, stop killing kangaroos." The protesters also handed out leaflets to customers and passers-by, raising awareness about the issue and encouraging people to boycott Adidas until the company committed to using more ethical and sustainable materials. The protest was part of a broader campaign by PETA to pressure Adidas and other sportswear brands such as Nike to stop using kangaroo leather and other animal products in their products. The environmental impact of fashion has become a critical issue in recent years, and Adidas faced strong criticism in 2011 for its contribution to pollution in China's rivers. Despite operating many of its factories in China, the company was accused of not doing enough to address the waste produced by its manufacturing processes, which was contaminating nearby water sources. This is an unacceptable situation, and there were widespread calls for Adidas to take immediate action to reduce its environmental impact and implement sustainable manufacturing practices. The company was also lambasted for its failure to address its carbon emissions, which are contributing to the devastating effects of climate change. The fashion industry must recognize the urgent need for change and take bold steps to reduce its environmental impact. Adidas has since taken some measures to address these issues, but it is imperative that companies in this industry do more to ensure a sustainable future for our planet.
Now to fired Louisville coach Rick Pitino, speaking out about that bribery scandal rocking the college basketball world.
The 2017 bribery scandal that rocked Adidas and the college basketball world was a true shocker, with allegations that Adidas executives were involved in paying bribes to basketball coaches to influence player recruitment. It was clear that the sportswear giant had a lot of explaining to do. The scandal not only tarnished the reputation of the company, but also highlighted the corrupt practices that can plague the high-stakes world of college sports. While Adidas has since taken steps to address the issue and prevent future scandals, the incident serves as a stark reminder of the importance of ethical behavior and transparency in business. Adidas' controversial sponsorship of athletes with a history of misconduct and unethical behavior has sparked widespread debate and criticism. From Lance Armstrong's doping scandal to Muhammad Ali's controversial political views to Kanye West, Adidas' association with these athletes has sent shockwaves through the sports world and raised questions about the company's values and ethics. The decision to align the Adidas brand with such figures begs the question: is controversy a necessary component of a successful marketing strategy? These are just a few examples of many accusations that have sparked a widespread conversation about the responsibility that big brand corporations like Adidas have in ensuring their products are ethically produced. For customers who value ethical and sustainable practices, these factors are a critical consideration in their purchasing decisions.